Over the past 24 hours, Ukraine's military struck 17 areas where Russian troops were located, shot down 6 Russian drones and a Mi-24 helicopter, and destroyed an artillery unit, the General Staff of Ukraine's armed forces reported in its morning briefing. According to the General Staff, Ukraine hit 2 Russian control centers, 4 temporary bases, 2 anti-aircraft missile systems, an ammunition depot, an artillery unit at a firing position, and 2 electronic warfare stations. The update did not say where the strikes occurred but said that Russian troops have focused their main efforts on conducting offensive actions near Lyman, Bakhmut, Avdiika, Marinka, and Shakhtar in Donetsk Oblast. The General Staff said Ukraine's military had repelled 59 Russian attacks in these areas. The update also said that over the past day, Russia carried out 50 air and 11 missile strikes, and launched 75 attacks from salvo rocket launchers on the positions of Ukrainian troops and civilian infrastructure of populated areas, killing civilians. Battles are ongoing near Marinka and Avdiika, located next to the Russian-occupied regional capital Donetsk, 40 kilometers south of Bakhmut. Avdiika is one of the main hotspots of Russia's ongoing offensive, according to Ukraine's military. Voices in the Russian information space are gearing up for an expected Ukrainian counteroffensive, the Institute for the Study of War said in its latest war update. Widely read Russian military bloggers have warned of a Ukrainian counteroffensive in recent days, the ISW reported. One prominent military blogger claimed Ukraine may have plans for an attack on Russia's Belgorod Oblast, while another said that Ukraine will likely try to launch the counteroffensive before the Russian defense industrial base has the capacity to increase production. The DC-based think tank also cited Russian Security Council Deputy Head Dmitry Medvedev as having said on March 24 that the Russian General Staff is aware Kiev is preparing for offensive operations and is considering potential responses to the counteroffensive. Kremlin-backed private mercenary Wagner Group boss Yevgeny Prigozhin also claimed on March 23 that he knows of plans for an extensive Ukrainian counteroffensive, the ISW wrote. According to the ISW, the Russian information space appears to be responding to the slowdown of Russian operations and potential for Ukraine to regain the initiative with substantial anxiety. The ISW observed that Russia's spring offensive appears to be nearing its end, and in order to launch any new offensive operations, Russia would need to commit a significant number of forces that do not appear to exist at the moment. The Kherson City Council is urging residents to evacuate amid nearly constant Russian attacks and shelling. Russian troops continue to terrorize our territorial community. The settlements near the Dnipro River are suffering the most. Because of the constant attacks, it is almost impossible to ensure stable heat and water supply there, the city council wrote on Telegram. The best option to protect yourself and your loved ones is to evacuate to safer regions. Russia attacked Ukrainian-controlled parts of Kherson Oblast 74 times within a 24-hour period, firing 423 shells from heavy artillery and Grad multiple rocket launchers, Kherson Oblast Governor Alexander Putin said on Telegram on March 24. According to the governor, Russian forces fired on the city of Kherson 4 times, and 12 shells hit residential areas, private apartment buildings, and a medical facility. 1 person was killed, Putin said. 87 people were evacuated from the oblast, he added. Kherson Oblast has been continuously subjected to Russian shelling since the areas on the west bank of the Dnipro River were liberated by Ukrainian forces in November 2022. Russian forces were pushed to the river's east bank, from where they have been firing at the liberated territories. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden said that despite signs that China is considering stepping up its military support for Russia, the country hasn't so far moved to do so, CNN reported. Doesn't mean they won't, but they haven't yet, Biden said during a news conference in Ottawa, Canada following a speech alongside Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau in the Canadian Parliament on March 24. And if anything's happened, the West has coalesced significantly more, he added. U.S. officials have sounded the alarm in recent months that China is considering sending lethal aid to Russia for its war against Ukraine. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and CIA Director Bill Burns have both publicly warned China against sending aid that could help Russia in Ukraine. Politico reported on March 16 that trade and customs data from between June and December 2022 showed that Chinese companies had exported 1,000 assault rifles and other equipment, such as drone parts and body armor, to Russian entities, but that there was no explicit evidence the shipments were intended for Russian troops in Ukraine. During a visit by Chinese leader Xi Jinping to Russia on March 20 to 22, the two countries signed a joint statement on deepening partnership and strategic cooperation on March 21, which stressed that Russian-Chinese relations are comprehensive, strategic, and at the highest level in history. The Institute for the Study of War, a DC-based think tank, said that Russian dictator Vladimir Putin, however, has been unable to secure the no-limits bilateral partnership with China the two countries declared shortly before Russia's full-scale invasion began on February 24, 2022.